Okay, hey everyone, welcome to another plan with me. We're doing my December reading journal today, and we're starting by lighting a candle because I love doing that. So this one I think I just got in an Owl Crate box. It was just a simple candle because my theme is actually pretty simple this time around. So I have some of it sketched out already, as you can tell. I mean, I don't know why I'm trying to hide it. It's a Grinch theme. We'll get into a little bit more of why I chose the Grinch, but first I'm gonna struggle with you during this part where I forgot my phone memo didn't have paper, so I had to print it out on real paper, and I had to do it like 3 times because I couldn't get the sizing right for the titles, because I did actually find a Grinch font and I wanted it to look very, very crisp. Didn't want to risk messing it up myself, and right now I'm just cutting it with like the paper cutter tool. So now that I'm done cutting, time for the drawing. I'm using mostly these Pigma Micron pens, the fine tip pen in 05 and then the marker one that I'm using right now, just to do most of the doodling. This is a very simple, not drawing heavy theme. Right now I'm just writing my favorite quote from the Jim Carrey version of the Grinch, which is, you know, his to-do list. I just think it's so funny. For the most part, the rest of the theme is actually based on like the 1960s version of the cartoon. So this is the one part where we kind of bring in the Jim Carrey movie, but it is just too good to pass up. But yeah, so I mean, why did I choose the Grinch? I've been joking for the past few months that I just feel like a Grinch. I don't want Christmas to come. I normally don't love Christmas that much. It's never been my favorite holiday at all. But specifically this year, I just feel like it's come back with a vengeance, and I just feel very Grinch-like, and I was like, that's the perfect theme. But yeah. And then on the right side, I'm doing my Days Red spread. I accidentally named it Books Red again. And I'm doing the calendar as little ornaments, and they're not drawn very well. I feel like that's why this theme is so much fun, because the drawing aspect and fonts are very easy. They're supposed to look messy because that's kind of how the cartoon looks. That's even how like the Dr. Seuss book looks. But yeah, I mean, here I'm actually just drawing in some ornaments around December, and I thought they were gonna look terrible because that's kind of the drawing style, is like a very like loose, scratchy mess, but I really like how it turned out. I feel like once you fill in the colors, it looks perfect. Here, I was originally going to leave it with a lot less color, but I decided to add little pops of color and like the green thumbtack and adding in more of the colorful lights around the to-do list. And I actually did finish for this night and started it up the next night, so let's blow out the candle and move on to the next day. So once again, I'm keeping it super simple. I just decided to write the good list on the left side and crossing out good to tape in my TBR title. And I have just been taping it in with the tape glue that I have, and I've just been kind of like resting it on different surfaces at this point because I wanted it to stick in very nicely without, you know, getting glue everywhere. So here I'm just writing like a scroll of paper, as you would imagine Santa Claus probably having for the good list, I guess, with some boxes to check off for what my TBR is going to be. And I did end up printing just a picture from the Grinch of when the Grinch is sledding down with Max, and Max is, you know, terrified and he doesn't want to be a reindeer, so he's just holding on to the Grinch's head. And Max is 100% my favorite part about the Grinch. I mean, the Grinch, he's an unlikable character, and Max is just such a sweet little baby that is always there for him. You know, I love him so much. I could not do this theme without Max. And once again, I'm just using another surface to really thoroughly tape the parts that were kind of loose after I cut it, because I did cut it to fit around the scroll, and here I'm just kind of cutting off some excess. But after that, I ended up deciding I wanted to re-outline the drawing because I feel like a lot of it got lost in the printer. So I just took a Sharpie gel pen that I have and outlined the Grinch again. And again, I was actually planning on leaving this colorless, but I ended up going over it in some color using just some Tombow dual brush pens in green and red. And I end up using brown as well for Max. And now starting on the naughty list, which is going to be the crossed out title for my hold list. I know, I feel like that's pretty clever. And I'm actually only now just realizing that I named it the good list when it's definitely normally called the nice list, but you know, whatever, that's fine. And yeah, once again, just kind of keeping to the same strategy of taping it in with the tape glue. It's a very, very simple theme. I love it because I feel like it turned out very clean because of its simplicity. I'm again just drawing in those colored string lights around the hauled list, which is thumbtacked onto a wall. Well, I'm imagining it to be a wall. But I just like that it ended up being a lot more simple. I feel like normally I go a lot in my themes, and I loved how this one turned out, so I hope you guys like it too. And here, I finally color in Max. Poor baby, he was colorless. And this one ended up actually being my simplest page, which I feel like now my December, or like my books read spread always ends up being the simplest because a lot of it is just me writing in the books I'm reading and like a caption of what I think about them. So I just did those string lights again, extremely messily. I wanted a very concentrated, colorful look. If you could tell in the last spread, I actually did little like glowing lights around them, which I think looks pretty cool, but I never went back and did that on the cover page or anything. And I just planned to tape in the titles over them. I kind of wish I had cut more of like the actual titles, like cutting more around them, because I feel like you ended up not being able to see a lot of the lights. And I mean, I even tried to like put December as far to the left as possible, which I think ends up looking kind of weird, but yeah, it's fine. And then I decided to make little ornaments more in the style of the cartoon for my little checklist next to the book that I read, and adding in a little bit of a glow. And now on to my last spread, which is my favorite book for December. I did concentrate a lot harder when cutting out the titles this time, that way the string lights could be seen a lot more. And here I actually printed out 3 pages from the Dr. Seuss book, The Grinch. The first page being about how the Grinch hated Christmas and how they assume that it's because his heart was 2 sizes too small. And then the last page, which is, or the second to last page, which is about how his heart grows 3 sizes that day and he brings back down the sleigh of toys and then the actual image of him bringing them down. Because I think that those kind of encapsulate the whole idea behind the Grinch. But here I'm trying to draw Max, and this was a struggle. I really did this for so long because the style that he was drawn in for the Grinch movie is just so not my ordinary, and it's supposed to look kind of goofy, and I didn't like that. And here I'm kind of going over the lines with a white gel pen because I realized I messed it up and I wanted to try again. And while I let that dry, I taped in the pages from the book. And yeah, and then I kind of discovered that I need to actually go in over it with a paint pen. That way I can really redraw the lines. Yeah, that was a struggle. And then I colored in red the picture book. In a weird way, I kind of like how the Jim Carrey Grinch movie had the Grinch's story told a little bit more, because I feel like in the book it's all just kind of about him realizing the spirit of Christmas, while in the movie, it's a lot more about how people have lost the meaning of Christmas, and like there's one little girl that still understands it, and that's what he believes in. Like, not the people, you know, it was the little girl that helped him and his dog at the end of the day. And I feel like that makes so much more sense for me, personally. But again, I'm a Grinch, so I don't know. That was kind of a tangent, sorry about that. But we are letting Max's face dry right now while I put in that title, so there wasn't much else to talk about. Let me know what you think on that. And here I'm just outlining where the picture is going to go for the printed out favorite book of December. And I try to redraw Max again, which honestly, he just ends up looking kind of goofy no matter what I do. He's a little bit of where I failed in this spread, but that's fine. That's fine. It's okay. I'm not mad about it. I am mad about it because then I go in with the brown Tombow pen and remember that it's not going to color as well over the parts that have been painted over, so this was a mess, honestly. But he's a cute mess, and that's all that matters. And that's basically it. So now we just finish up for the night, I blow out my candle, and then we're gonna be going over in the flip through. I actually didn't change anything this time around, so it's really just us flipping through the pages. I really love how this spread turned out. I love that to-do list. I feel like as a kid, I thought I got it, and now as I'm older, I'm like, ooh, I really get it. But overall, I just really like all of the spreads. I like how simple it is. I like that I went with the Grinch in the end. I was between that and Nightmare Before Christmas, and obviously I still wish it was Halloween, that's why. But I am glad I went with the Grinch, because in a weird way, I'm kind of in a little bit of the Christmas spirit now. I mean, I kind of just want to watch all the Grinch movies, including the new one that I haven't seen yet. But that's Christmassy enough, right? I don't know. I hope you guys like this. Let me know what you think down below. Leave like a Christmas tree emoji, I guess, if you made it all the way to the end and if you want to. I guess that's gonna be it. The last theme for 2020, and the next time we do this, we'll be setting up the 2021 reading journal. So thank you for watching. Bye!